Hello, everybody. Welcome again to Rift Reload, the one place you can come for anything Wild Rift, esports, or not related. I'm AlkBattery, joined again by Smax, and today we've got the wonderful Urso coming all the way down from the WBR. How are you doing today, man?
Doing great. Thank you guys for the invite to be with you tonight. It's a pleasure to be able to talk a bit more of the Brazilian scene and of the WBR.
Awesome, Smax. How you doing today? I know you're all over podcasts this weekend, man.
Yeah, it's a good day. I've had a great week, just went grocery shopping today, and I've just been reeling off the back of the great wild rift that we got to see this weekend as well. So a nice time in NA as well.
You're getting all these great things all in a row. You got WNS Major you just had. You had your 8-year anniversary with your partner. Congratulations again
That's
with
true.
that.
Thank you.
Um, and yeah, now we get to talk about Wild Rift, some of our favorite stuff here. Uh, Urso, in case anybody somehow has missed you on the internet and doesn't know who you are, give a little bit of an intro as to how you maybe got into casting and being on the WBR.
Okay, let's. I think the I started casting on Dota Underlords. At the time, it
Ooh,
was because it's not something that I really looked into. It was just a necessity because at the time I had what in Brazil was called Liga Urso. It's basically it was the only Dota tournament that we had for the Latin America, and I needed to cast it because no one wanted to cast it. So I started doing that, and when I moved to Lives of Frontera as a content creator at the time, that we were in beta, uh, it was almost the same thing. We had a lot of community tournaments, but not a lot of people that was willing to cast it. So with the time going on, I started really liking it, and here I am. I started doing things with wisdom, the fight nights at the time, some of the seasonals and awards for Legends of Frontera, and at the start of this year for the Wild Tour, the WBR, I was invited to be one of the casters of the show. So hey guys, I'm here now.
that's awesome.
Glad to have
Giving
you.
me
Yeah.
Smax is giving me like Rafa vibes, right? Like you're talking about all these amateur tournaments. Did you play before? Were you like you said you were a content creator? Were you playing
Yeah.
alongside in these tournaments at the same time?
So I started all the games so far that I have casted. I loved all of those games and played a lot of them.
Mhm.
And yeah, I was content creator for Dota Underlords, then Legends of Frontera, and for some time Wild Rift. But at the time Wild Rift came out, I was really into the Legends of Frontera stuff and started also working with Wisdom as a product coordinator for the Giant Slayer Brazil. So I didn't have much time to keep as a content creator, but I play Wild Rift on a daily basis. But I'm just
Good.
a casual right now.
What do you play in Wild Rift, or what's your rank as well?
My I got last season to Grandmasters, but now I'm at Diamond. I usually play. I use a strategy that I call kamikaze corky, and it worked for me to until I reached Grandmaster. It's basically you guys need to use the double Valkyries and
Okay.
just go into the enemy team, and it's insane.
Yeah.
Try this at home.
Okay, so you're a mid laner, or do you play Dragon Lane?
No, I
Or
play as ADC.
okay. I'm coping. I've been hard stuck like Emerald for the longest time, so it is actually just my fault. It's not the game. I can't blame matchmaking. They just fixed it. It is just me at this point. We've gone to the common denominator that is just my fault. Um,
Or you're not playing
speaking
enough
of,
Corky?
yeah, maybe it is. We were playing Corki for a really long time. We were like spamming Corki. We were getting it done. just didn't make the end push. We promised everybody at home that we were going to try and make Diamond slash Masters before the regional championship. That didn't end up happening.
I did
Okay,
it.
regardless of rank at this point, because now I'm a little hurt. I'm a little red in the face. Um, let's talk about our regions, right? Because if I'm correct, and I know Riot, the wording is a little bit weird, so I want to make sure that I'm correct here. Brazil and North America like share a server. Is that like because I know we share the ladder as well? If I'm not correct.
So for the Wild Rift, we don't share the same server.
Hmm.
I know that some countries on Latin America shares the same one with Brazil,
Okay.
but as far as I know, the server is only on São Paulo. So depending on the country, people probably get a higher ping than the Brazilians usually get.
Okay. Good. Okay. I just wanted to make sure because I know we have there's the Cloud9 in-house server that is taking place at the same time, and I know we have a bunch of pros from different regions all at the same time here in like North America and all of South America. So I'm wondering, like, I just wanted to make sure that we had that all in line. Is there anything for like infrastructure wise, like when we're talking about Brazil and just mobile esports as a whole? Like, what is that? What is mobile esports looking like in Brazil?
So I think we are more used to mobile games being sports than most countries because Free Fire is a big has a big scene here in Brazil. It's even I think Brazil is known worldwide of because the football and even the Brazilian official football team is being sponsored by Free Fire. So it got at this size, and I think we are more used to look at mobile games as not only maybe casual games and things to pass some time, but also as maybe an entry in as an esport as a whole. So Wild Rift was, I think, easier to be adapted to the Brazilian players. We nowadays we have some players from League C, but also a lot of players from other mobile esports games that had esports like Free Fire, like I said, Arena of Valor, Mobile Legends, and games like that that has already a big scene here in Brazil.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I know when we were getting into Wild Rift, Dimitri and I, we were aware that like our scene might be smaller than Brazil's because of that landscape. How long has this been true that the mobile gaming esports scene has been a really big thing in Brazil? How long has that been going on?
So just to before I answer that question, just to give a bit more of context to it,
Sure.
uh, I think here in Brazil, the average Brazilian don't have nearly the income necessary to have a gaming PC. So when we started getting games to mobile that had even if it was small at the time, but had any chance to be competitive at any stage, we had it being grew on the local scene. So I know the biggest one nowadays is Free Fire, but games like Clash Royale and even Clash of Clans in the past,
Yeah.
we had already a lot of people here in Brazil going really hard on those games because everyone has a cell phone, and it's really more accessible to the Brazilians, to the teenagers and young people than a gaming PC that is something like more exclusive to people that has a higher income. So we had the how can I explain that? We had the perfect scenario to adapt and receive those games and have a bigger scene than most countries have nowadays.
Yeah. I guess maybe Diablo might work over there. Everybody has phones, you know. They don't have to. Not everyone's gonna be looking a little strange at you for asking that
That
question. It's
sentence
perfect.
is really that one. Yeah, Blizzard had shoot it on their feet with
Yeah.
that one. That was
That's just a way better. They should have gone to Brazil for that one. That's perfect.
Oh man,
I-
they're catching strays for
please
nothing.
don't should
right
be
now.
happening in Brazil. They missed that one.
Awesome. This is exactly for if somehow we're reaching them, that's your target audience. This is exactly what you need to go for. You would have thought they had those analytics. You can get them for free here at Rift Reload.
Yeah.
We're about, I would say, halfway through the season for most Wild Rift regions. We're talking about like Europe, the WBR. You also have WOL happening in Latin America, and we're basically halfway through WNS. What is your region looking like? Because I took a look and like I watched some VODs, and B4 are just running everybody, man. Like
Yeah. Before is we call it the Dream Team. People call it Exodia and things like that because it has a lot of the great players we had on the Wild Tour last year. Last year we didn't have the official Wild Tour as we are having right now, but we had the Wild Tour finals and some great teams were there, and before is almost like the best players on each of those things together, and you guys can see it on the score. They just won every game so far. No one took a game from them.
No.
But we have a lot of other teams with great potential. DreamX has been showing a really great game. Los Grandes and also Liberty. I think those one would they are showing on the score sheet, but they are really great teams that have been improving through the tournament as well and bringing some maybe some I can call it maybe some weird picks. We have I know you guys know of that, but we already have seen the Yumi on Baron Lane in Brazil. It
Yep.
didn't work like it did in Asia, but they try it. They at least try it in Brazil.
Respect, because we haven't done it yet. North America, cowards. They don't even want to play the cat half the time. It's great. I love it. This is why I love Brazil, and this is why I was super hyped coming into the year. You guys are doing good stuff over there. Good Wild Rift for the most part. You guys have at least trying stuff. North America, get on it, guys. We gotta get more spicy.
Yeah, and just I think one thing that is also important for the people that is hearing us is last year the team that represented Brazil in the Horizon Cup was TSM.
Mm-hmm.
And now you guys, TSM had only one player change from last year. Only their support that is now the support player for B4 is the only change that the TSM team had. And even with that, the greatest team of the last year is struggling a bit on this new season. So the standard is really got to the next stage. The teams are really trying hard to be great, and Brazil is never did great on the League PC, so people are trying to prove a point here and maybe be great on Wild Rift, and I really think they can do that. The players and the orgs behind the teams are really investing into it, so I really believe that they can do that.
That's pretty incredible. I know, speaking to that TSM team at Horizon Cup, they did beat our team. So Brazil, currently as it stands, better than North America internationally. How much of that do you think is going to bleed over once we do get to the Icon series for Worlds? Because like you said, TSM's struggling a little bit from the outlook right now. It doesn't look like they're going to make it, but the most impressive piece, in my opinion, Carlito, likely will at this point. So
he's the support for before and probably will.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think about the overall team strength that you're likely to be sending to that tournament?
I really think that Brazil is aiming to have a better performance that we had last year on the Horizon Cup, and I think we can do that. like I said before, is basically the dream team. They got a lot of the players that have the potential to be among the best ones. And this year we have a extra thing. We will be having more than one team representing
Yes.
Brazil, so our chances will at least be higher than the last Horizon Cup. But I really believe that the teams are ready for it. I think one of the problems that TSM had in the last Horizon Cup was that a lot of the players was inexperienced with presential tournaments. So were their first time playing on face to face to other players and other teams, and that really took its price there. And I think now they will be the teams that will be representing Brazil on the Horizon Cup will be more read towards that. And I hope that even on the Wild Tour, the WBR, that at least for the playoffs, we'll have the teams playing there with us, because at least until now they are playing from their homes. And I think that this experience playing face to face and having the feeling the heat of the moment needs to be something that would help a lot of the team before the Horizon Cup. So I really hope that we can do that at least for the playoffs of the WBR.
Yeah,
I am
that'd be
too.
awesome.
You guys have a super sick setup over there. Every time I
Yeah,
watch you
yeah,
guys show,
it is great.
yeah, you guys have like the four of you standing on stage. Some of you can sit down. A lot of people are like, "No, you got to sit on a desk. You gotta do the whole thing." You guys have such a like an open platform. Even last year,
Yeah.
your guys' show was like super innovative. You guys all have a super like different sense of style, like all individually speaking. So I really love watching Wild Tour, and I agree. I think getting players in seats and next to
Yeah.
each other and being able to face the enemy team, that's where we actually got some of the best clips, I think, for players, not only at
Yeah.
Horizon Cup but even for the Wild Tour. Was like, I don't remember if it was TSM or if it was another team where the guy just like stands up and he's like yelling after like winning a match.
It's
It was,
probably Carlito.
yeah. It's perfect. It was really awesome. And kind of talking about that B4 team before we move on. This was, I mean, you're talking about it being the dream team, right? It's, if I remember correctly, like built from most of the top, like just different pieces from the top three teams from last year. Like Sao Agradece, like you have Letter on there. Why am I forgetting names
Norva's
now?
also.
Exactly. Yeah, you guys have basically all of like the best members from those teams coming in. Um, do they like, are the other members, if you're like coming in, you want to watch WBR, you only know Carlito and you're trying to look at the other members on B4? Are they like experienced? We're talking about like going to Horizon Cup and going to Icon Series with that kind of like veteranship. Are these like brand new players? Are they young? Give us the background on them.
So most of them are young players, but they at least some of them have experience from other games.
Okay.
So players that came to Wild Rift, but was playing Arena of Valor and Mobile Legends before, and some of them even played on international tournaments for those games before. So we are talking about really experienced players, and at least on Wild Rift, the only one that played on an international tournament was Carlito,
Mhm.
but I think the other players are really capable of handling themselves and will do great at the Horizon Cup.
Good.
And like we said so far, they are really the dream team. We always try to bring that to the people that are watching the WBR, and probably their jungle player, the Letter that was playing on Sogrades last year, he's arguably the best player we have in the Wild Rift Brazil nowadays. But it's always a polemic topic. So, but he's for sure one of the best.
Good.
That's
Good.
really cool.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that competition at Icon Series then.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
put you on the spot. Top three teams from WBR. If you had to send, let's say like you send three teams right now to Icon Series, who are they?
So I would go with before Los Grandes, and DreamX would be my top three.
Okay, I like it.
All right.
Alrighty.
In that
I
order,
really
you think?
like what I'm seeing so far. Those three teams showed a lot of different styles. They can play with different strategy. So I really think they probably are the strongest team we have right now. But some of the bottom of the side score sheet teams we have had improved a lot on the last few weeks. So I really think we probably can have a surprise. Even the miners that on the group B on the third place now, they really showed a great improvement from last week's. Loops also showed a great improvement. So we can have a surprise on the next couple of weeks until the group stage is happening.
Yeah, incredible.
Okay.
So I'm actually really curious about the overall team strength of your region, like just the entire thing, because when we were going into Horizon Cup as North America, it was really just Tribe, and then everybody else would just always lose to Tribe. They didn't really
Yeah.
have any competition. But I know for Brazil, you guys were the only region to have a 7-game finals. It was 4-3. And it looked really competitive all throughout. How close do you feel like the region was at that time, and do you feel like it's still improving, but do you feel like it's still really close at the top? Like, do you feel like there's a lot of really good competition for like maybe if the best team is B4, like is it really close after that?
So I really don't know that answer. The last time we saw before playing with those other teams I've said Los Grandes and DreamX was at the Battle for the Rift before the WBR even started.
Oh yeah.
So at the time before was I think by a good margin superior to those things, but from it was like 2 months ago. It was the last time they really played on some tournament, and I don't know if that will be the case if they face each other right now. I still think that before has an advantage and would be the favorite on those on against those things, but I don't think it would be that easy as it was at the time. I really think the teams are doing a great work on improving and getting information from other regions. We have been seeing things that are working great on Asia being tested on the Wild Tour. Some worked, some not, but they are at least they are trying to bring new stuff here and also create some new stuff like we had last year the tank Quark with
Oh.
tank items from TSM, and
Mm.
we saw it being used on international tournaments on the Horizon Cup. So maybe Brazil, I think Brazil still has this potential to create new things, and I think it will be close as we had last year. The matches with those things.
I
Smax, you
thought you
got
guys
anything
were
to
onto
say about
something.
you got any words
Yeah.
about Tank Corky, buddy?
You guys were definitely onto something with the tank Corki. I think the Black Cleaver was pretty
Ahead of its
genius, if
time.
I'm honest.
Yeah, it was
Um,
ahead of its time.
yeah, for sure, for sure. I
Super
gave it a lot of
innovative.
I gave it a lot of criticism at the time. I was very confused back then, but I've seen the
All of
light now.
us, all of us.
Yeah,
Glad to
all
know it
of
wasn't just
us.
me.
Okay. All right, that's good. I'm glad because, especially when it was happening, like your guys' Wild Tour was going on, and it finished right before the Summoner series finished off. So we're like, ugh, oh god, okay. So um, so talking about like as we kind of finish out this part of the show, you guys were talking about like watching other regions. Like, do you guys watch North America? Is there any teams that like you guys are a fan of, either the broadcast team or like you're hearing from the teams like individually? They're like, man, this Immortals team has like really good like champion, like their drafts are sick. Or is there anything you guys are scouting from North America?
So I can't really say for the teams but at least on the caster team we have right now on WBR, I know a lot of people watch the other region leagues. I'm a big fan of. I almost start my day and end my day watching some Wild Rift stuff on my second monitor because a lot of the tournament are happening when I can't watch it live. So I go to
Yeah.
the Wild Rift Sports channel on YouTube and watch a lot of it. I what I'm seeing so far is that NA also improved a lot. I think you guys are really looking like a great team, and probably like we have been seeing here. Probably last year, Tribe was relatively superior to every other team on
Yeah.
NA, but I like we can see it on the bracket over here, and it's not the same case as before.
No.
Maybe Immortals will do as great as Tribe did last year, but I really think you guys will be a good uh, competitor to what Brazil is bringing and what other region will also be bringing to Horizon Cup.
All right, that gives us a lot of hope here. I like the optimistic answer. I do want to ask: have you seen Rolster Y play?
Yeah,
I
I
think
did see.
I think that team might win the whole event with the way
We
that
haven't
they
even
look
seen
right now.
China yet. That's the thing. Like I'm
Yeah,
waiting for yeah.
yeah,
That's
that's
true.
exactly the thing. We
Like
didn't see anything from China, and
yeah,
they are probably coming big.
That's
exactly.
true. Until that happens, Rolster Y is the team that I think is the best in the world right now.
Yeah, yeah.
They look so good. And like you said, they're trying out things, and like other regions are definitely adapting to it. It's nice to hear that that Brazil is doing this as well. NA's coming up with some cool strategies and emulating a bit of what WCK is doing, but uh, roster wise, definitely doing it better than everyone else right now. So that team has been my favorite to watch. Outside of NA, of course, I love my NA teams.
Yeah. Well, okay. Good. Good. Gotta make
Last week
sure.
I was watching the other regions tournaments, and uh, I for some time I thought I was crazy. Maybe I was watching for too many hours, but we did see a Kaisa jungle, and
Yes.
I was, what's happening?
Hey.
This will be since the ADCs can't work on Dragon Lane, maybe they will work on jungle.
Yeah,
That
He
could be
knows.
their spot.
Good. Good.
Cloud9's been
Urso
trying
knows.
that too.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah. I'm
yeah.
glad we get to talk about that because I already, just like you said, if the marksman don't work in the dragon lane, we're taking them elsewhere. We're going straight to the jungle.
Yeah.
I love it. I need to play Kaisa somehow. If I'm not allowed to play it in the dragon lane because it's bad and I have to play like a mage, then I'm just gonna go jungle. I don't even care anymore. I'm just gonna take my skills, go elsewhere. Um, let's talk about the patch because we just had like a bombshell of 3.1 dropped on us this week, and
Not
we
live
were
yet.
talking about it a little
Uh,
bit. It's not live. It comes live on the 24th of March. So
Yeah.
everybody, we're waiting. But we got new dragons. We got new items. We're gonna have a new rift in like 6 weeks after that, because the dragons are gonna be tested on like a private patch at the same time.
Private mode. Yeah.
Exactly. Like on there'll be a separate queue. If you haven't already watched the video, it is on YouTube. Go ahead and watch it. It is a lot to take in, especially for us as casters. So like coming into this or so, like what are the big things from the patch that you're super excited for Wild Rift?
So as we were talking before the show goes live, I really think that on the casual players match, we can also feel that, but especially in the competitive scene, we are feeling. I have a feeling that the matches looks a lot one to another. It's always feels like the same game almost, and I'm really looking for the dragon changes and the whole objective changes. I don't think having the dragons with the, I'm missing the name in
Rift Herald?
English. Yes, thank you. The Herald. At the same time, is something that's working great for the competitive scene. Uh, Looks like always the team that wants gold and wants to go in earlier always go to the Herald. The teams that doesn't had any choice on the early game goes to the Dragon, and it's like that. All games feels the same on at least on those 8 to 10 minutes when we have the two initial the two Heralds and the two first Dragons, and I really think changing that can be a good way for the games to not feel like we are doing the same thing all game over and over and over again. So probably the thing I'm looking more into right now. I know items is always a great addition, but I something that I really want to get in soon, and they talked about that on the video is new runes also.
Yes.
So I'm really looking for having new runes and new styles to play some of the champions we have right now. And I also think that when it comes, that can be a great change to the game.
There's going to be a lot of shakeups for sure. I think the
Yeah,
items are pretty big, but to dive into the objective thing again, I think you're 100% right about the objectives spawning at the same time. The trades often, at least especially in North America, the junglers will come mid lane and try to like whoever's stronger early, just try to kill them and then make it very clear like which objective they're going to go for. Usually it's the
yeah,
Herald.
yeah.
And
It's the same thing
yep,
for Brazilian scene.
yep. I think
Happens everywhere.
for that change, the two big things that jumped out to me are the objective timers being delayed a little bit, which helps
Mm,
lane last longer, which I think is
yeah,
definitely a good thing. That should
mhm,
be a skill that is like expressed a lot more. I think in Wild Rift, it's something that League PC has for like a long time in the game. It's really
Yeah.
meaningful in that game, but not so
yeah,
much
yeah. I
in
do
Wild
agree with
Rift.
you.
And then also the Drake being easier to kill is something that they highlighted in that
Yeah,
video as well,
yeah,
which I think is really
yeah,
needed. Is it doesn't have the eye on the back of the Herald head, so you can't just like kill it very fast and then go right to killing structures. So I think those are really good ideas. I don't know if they will desync the spawns, but I think that would also help out a lot. So
Yeah,
that's
probably.
going to be a big landscape shift before we even get to like the souls as well, where you have different buffs that everything's giving. It's not just a flat damage increase when you go for the Elder. So that's also very neat.
yeah.
The
And that change to the Drakes being able to be solved with easy. I think it's great to have more punishing plays on the early game. So we'll probably have like you killed one or two players, and maybe the jungle will be able to handle and solo the Drake while the rest of the team is pushing a lane or something like that. I really think it can be a great way to incentivize those punishing plays, and Wild Rift needs that right now.
Mm.
yeah, I definitely agree. It's we're looking at jungle. You have a set path every single game. You do your buff, just walk into the mid lane, do what you got to do. Um, the thing I will say for casual players, the next like month, 2 months are gonna probably be a ton of fun because this is stuff that's not gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah,
coming to
yeah,
esports. So if you're like, I want to watch WNS, I want to watch WBR, I want to watch all these regions with all these different dragons, they're not actually going to be on competitive for a really long time until preseason
yeah,
after Icon series. So
That's true.
like we're gonna be waiting with like bated breath, like please add this to the game. This is so much fun. But like the competitive, the like the casual people who are playing the game, the people who are on like the subreddit, they're gonna love this stuff. They're gonna tear it
yeah,
up. I think the biggest influence we're gonna probably have is the item changes, like Hullbreaker
Yeah.
being added. I personally don't know how I feel about it, just because Rift Herald and the way that Rift Herald and turrets work in Wild Rift is so different to um, PC in my
to
mind,
PC. Yeah,
where the plates
You have
are so
plates on
much more
everything, yeah.
influential. Yeah, you can
yeah,
get
yeah,
plates on this. The inhibitor never respawns, so like split pushing is an actual like much more tangible threat.
Yeah.
And something that they even talked about in this and why they're removing Cloud Drake, sorry to any of the Cloud Drake fans in chat, is the invisible
F.
power behind,
F.
exactly, the invisible power behind dragons. And that's where you even see where the Elder's being changed, because
Yeah.
Elder does do a lot, but it doesn't feel as impactful as just like instantly killing someone when they're like low HP. So I'm a huge fan of these changes, and I'm looking forward to what the new items come in, because I know a lot of the North American pros, they're talking about these items. They're like, Sunderer's gonna break Baron lane. This lane's gonna be OP, and they're freaking out.
It already is OP. And it probably be more OP than what we have right now. And another thing that really got me interested was that, like you said, they will be removing the Cloud Drake, but they will be we'll be having a new Drake in the future that will replace the Cloud Drake, and they said it will be an exclusive Drake to the Wild Rift that will be more adjusted and adapted to the Rift than it is for the League PC. And I'm really curious to see what they will be doing with that. I think it has the potential to be great or also break the game, but it is something for us to discuss in the future.
They're reviving Chemtech Drake, boys. That's what they're
Oh
doing.
boy.
They removed
Oh,
it to
boy.
put it into Wild Rift. Perfect. This is the
Yeah, I don't know
exact
about that.
timeline that I don't want to be in.
I don't know about that. The Cloud Drake
It's exclusive
definitely
to
would have
Wildrift?
struggled in this game because the map is so much
Yeah,
smaller and you can
yeah.
traverse it faster. So I
Yeah.
think that was definitely a good call. One last thing about these Drakes before we move on to the new items just a bit more. They didn't say if this version of the Elder is going to be permanent or not. And if it is, then that's a really, really big bonus because
You just
as
end
it
the
stands
game.
right now, yeah. I mean, that's what Elder does in the game currently. So it wouldn't be that different, I suppose. But if it is in fact permanent, then you have this gigantic execute, and I think that would also like warp the game a little bit. It'd be later though, because they're already delaying the spawn of the dragons. So it might be okay to have it permanent. I don't know. We're gonna have to find out.
Yeah, so something that I really important for us to note is that at least is something that we are feeling in Brazil is that the games are taking too long for what a Wild Rift probably what Riot thought in the
Wants.
past when they were developing the game. I think the games are longer than what they are expecting. So maybe it would be a way to things to have an easier way to close games. The buff will be permanent, but we'll need to wait and see how they will handle that.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about, is just like how long are the games now going to be? Because now they're delaying those dragons. You have to imagine like at minimum you're maybe getting like an additional 2 minutes to every Drake, and then that starts to add up. And we're
Yeah.
getting games like 2 weeks ago we had or for our first major we had a 45-minute game for other reasons potentially. But like if they had an Elder, all I'm saying, if they had an Elder, that game would have ended a lot quicker.
Well,
We also have
the
new
thing-
champions as well, right? Like we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
You were going to say, Smax?
the thing about the new dragons is that it only takes 3 to get the big soul bonus, so
Sure.
maybe it'll end up evening out in that way. But yeah, let's talk about the new champions. 'Cause
Yeah,
we have Shen and we have Karma. We've known that these two were coming for a while.
We
but
have the
is-
new Karma.
Yes,
The
New
updated
Karma.
one.
yes.
Yeah.
We can speed through Shen a little bit before we get to that because Shen is pretty much exactly the same. He if you've played him or seen him in League PC, he is exactly like that. He's got his dash taunt, he moves around his sword, he creates the zone where you can't auto attack in it, and he still has his signature cross map teleport with the huge shield. So exactly the same. I think the way that he fits into the landscape is going to be less tank oriented and more like a bruiser, and like the way that Fiora would play or something like that, where you can really
Yeah,
take
makes sense.
advantage of probably the new Divine Sunderer, and then some like attack speed oriented items, because if it's anything like in League PC, his damage is pretty good, and the attack
Yeah,
speed
yeah.
increase for all champions across the board in this game likely will make that quite strong. So that'd be my expectation. I also would expect that he's able to be played in jungle because of that.
Yeah, we've seen that in the past. I think it's a possibility, but as you guys were saying, split pushing is a really good strategy in Wild Rift, and Shane probably has the one, if not the one of the most potential to do a great split push. He has a great damage, has the stand united skill to be able to help in team fight when needed. I really think he has the potential to show more of that side of Wild Rift, and more split pushing strategy will probably be happening. But also something to notice is that we've seen in the past on League PC Shane being played as a support. It's something that can also happen in Wild Rift. Set that just came on before Yumi on Wild Rift is showing a lot of potential as a support. It's being used a lot on the WBR, and it has a great win rate so far. So I think Shane has a lot of potential on the Dragon Lane as a support also.
Who cares about Shen? We got Karma on board now. I don't care about this champion.
Yeah.
Shen, if you play it in my support role, thank you. You're not playing Veigar in my lane anymore. Got to get rid of that stuff already. But we got Karma, and she's got a ton of new abilities. If you're if you're either coming from League PC or you're new to Wild Rift, Karma will operate a little more differently. I think she's one of the few champions we have in the game that has 3-hit passives now, or some form of like a 3-stack. So get ready for that to continue to be added to the game. It's
kind of like Annie, right?
Sam.
Like,
yeah, basically, it is actually just Annie.
You every third spell cast becomes empowered. I think for Annie it's every 4, and it just stuns. This one actually like alters what the abilities do in a way.
It has an additional effect, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Sam, do you have any Spark notes for Karma?
Yes. So I am a big Karma player in League PC, and this champion, I already think that she's very good in that game, so the fact that she's getting an entirely new ultimate ability seems ridiculous to me. I'm very worried for what this is going to look like, because for those of you who don't know, she has a similar kit to League PC. Her Q, W, and E are relatively the same. The W's a bit better because you root 2 people instead of just 1, which is nice.
Yes.
But the ultimate is just Orianna Shockwave.
Yeah. But on a bigger radius than Orianna Shockwave, so
yeah,
it has the potential to break the game.
Yeah, and you don't have a ball either. You just use it instantly.
Yeah.
So
it's just you throw a ranged Diana in the middle of the lane. It's like, there you go, done. And at least from the video, and you kind of hinted it towards there, the thing is huge. Like, it takes up the entirety of Dragon Lane, so from like wall to wall, you're gonna get hit. And like, if you stand in the middle, the joke is that like it's a donut essentially. So if you stand in the middle, you're still gonna get dealt damage, but on the outer edges, you get pulled in. And like they were saying, just a free Orianna Shockwave is awesome. We already see that we're playing for jungle as it is right now in mid lane. So like, kind of this rolls into our next segment, talking about jungle in Wild Rift. A lot of people in the casual community are having a really hard time with this role, just because it is definitely a lot different and has a much higher skill floor. Like, if you suck at jungle, the game is not going to be fun for the rest of your teammates. You're going to get run over, and is not going to be a thing. Karma kind of helps with that, right? Like, you have Karma, who is an enchanter. She can push mid. She'll probably have decent numbers, and she was already being played solo lane in PC. So I see no reason as to why this champion will not just run over the game and make jungle at least feel a little bit better.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Just reading the Reddit post over here, and I think the biggest problem that playing as a jungler have, at least when we are playing the solo kill, is that too much pressure, responsibility, and you have the potential to break or make a team work. So and people blame a lot on the jungler player. So I really think it's the biggest problem. People don't want to have all that responsibility when they are just trying to have some fun, play a game, and people don't like to have that compromise with anything. And I will be sincere with you guys. When Wild Rift was out on EU, I played jungle there at the time. Shyvana was really OP, but when we received here on America, I never played jungle. My experience over there was not that great, and I felt that this role was just not for me, and I avoid jungle at all costs.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I've got it last on my selection.
Actually, I think I have support last on
Yeah,
mine,
the same
but I
for
still
me.
get jungle sometimes. Yeah. Speaking about jungle, right? Like I've made this joke with Sam because Sam is a really good support. Jungle is support diff. I don't care what it means. And so like jungle is support diff. Mid lane is a secondary support for jungle. Like if you're the jungler, I know it happens a ton in competitive. If you don't move for scuttle, you might get reported. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
people are
that's-
super defensive, and it goes both ways, right? Like you either have a really experienced jungler, and like you have players that are maybe off-rolled in some cases, or they are a little more selfish, and so they will not move for scuttle, and the enemy mid laner moves or the enemy support moves, and so now you have this dichotomy where either it's FF, my jungler is griefing me, or the jungler is just like full tilt in chat, and he is like running the game.
Yeah, that happens more than it should be, and I think probably the main reason is most of the games I have played in the last couple weeks, the jungle on my team was not a main jungle. It was something that was just thrown there, and hey, have this bomb with you, and try to figure out how to handle that. And I don't know. I don't even know how to blame people for that. I think Riot needs to probably do something and incentivize more people to play jungle, because right now we really need more players on the jungle role.
Yes, agreed. They are fixing it. Like we're getting waves of changes, right? Like they already fixed matchmaking, so people can stop hopefully complaining about like I have a random gold jungler who doesn't play jungle. The patch is also coming in where if you get autofilled into jungle, it will give you smite. I had a problem
Yeah,
with this the
nice.
other day in a
Automatically
ranked
smite,
game.
yeah.
Yeah, I lost the game because I didn't have smite because it didn't automatically give it to me on jungle. I'm just so used to that from PC, so my bad. We lost that game. Minus LP on that one, or minus VP. Yeah, and again, like you said, I really want them to incentivize people to play jungle, because there's already incentive to play the other lanes. Like, oh, I'm playing in a solo lane, or I get to play like a cool marksman. And even in this post, it talks about there's not many actual junglers. Like we have a few, right? But maybe add some more champions in there. Give us a little bit more.
Yeah. I think that's where they're going with the new champions that they're releasing, because they mentioned, what was it, Bilgewater,
Ike and
Noxus.
Zon.
Not so.
Or not Bilgewater, Noxus, and Zon.
Yeah, and they said
I just want Nar. Bring me Nar, and
Ooh.
we're good to go.
gotta wait
Okay.
for Bandle City, I think, maybe for that one.
Yeah.
I think those were the regions, right? Because they just
Yes, they
did
were.
Ionia with Shannon Karma. So my assumption is that they're going to have two champions of each. So then for Noxus, I mean for jungle it might be Talon. That could definitely be a jungler.
Talon
from
jungle,
Noxus.
yeah. I don't
And then-
want that from PC, please.
I don't
need that.
want that either.
Yeah, as a marksman player, me and Urso are connecting on a different level here. No Talon, please.
Please don't tell them. Something that can work is bringing gameplay to the Rift. Maybe you will have a adaptation of it that can work on jungle. I don't know how, but they can adapt the barrel skill, and maybe it can fit that role. It's a possibility.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of things that they can try with the new champions. I mean, they're already doing it with Karma.
Yeah.
Yumi had some adjustments to join this game as well. And even like some of the ones that have been around for a while, like Diana and Ashe, like those
Yeah.
champions got some really cool like quality of life
Yeah,
stuff to their
The
ultimates.
Drift Crystal Arrow is something that League PC envies from
Yes.
Wild
my
Rift.
God, it's
So
so,
cool.
good in this game, man. I love Ashe. Uh, looking into the future, are there any champions like skin wise that we're looking forward to? I know you're saying Gnar earlier, but like if there's like a skin you wanted to be added to the game, because I have a few. I'm a marksman player, so like it's a little bit biased, but I think any skin that Samira has is just perfect. I obviously
You gotta
want
put in
Furious to
Samira
be added.
first.
Yeah, there you go. We're going to Noxus, so maybe we're getting that.
Yeah, as a marksman player, also I want more Caitlyn skins. I don't like the one she has right now,
Okay.
and she needs some good skins from League PC. So probably the ones I'm most looking for in the future.
I feel the same way about Thresh. The skins they've put in so far, the Pulsefire and Blood Moon, those are my least favorite ones. I want High Noon Thresh. I want the Spirit Blossom one.
Yeah,
They're adding
that
it.
is a good skin.
Yeah. I mean, High Noon's being revisited, right? Like they said it in there that they're going to
Give me
revisit
the
some of the
Thresh skin.
skins.
Yeah,
So
Thresh
maybe
could
we will
be
just get
some
High
of them.
Noon.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's possible. And you talked about Pulsefire. It's one of the Caitlyn skins I want in Wild Rift. I really like that
There you
one on
go.
PC.
Yeah.
And please, Riot, bring it to us.
Well, I'm
Pulsefire
glad that
Kate's
we're all
really good.
connecting on different levels here. Me and Urso on the Dragon Lane, you guys on Pulsefire. We're really growing this connection here on Rift Reload. Before we close out, we have a segment that we like to do every week. It's called Scryer's Bloom, where we try to look into the future of Wild Rift and take a look at some of the fun stuff, maybe give a prediction. And so the way that we've kind of changed it, iterated on it, is me and Sam are going to give predictions, and you're going to tell us which one is the most likely or the one that you think is the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah. So, Sam, do you want to take charge on this one, or do you want me to go first?
I think it's better if you go first this time. Mine's a little. Well, we'll see when we get to it.
Yeah. So I just think that Shen is probably going to be pretty weak in this game. I think that Shen will be overshadowed by Karma. I think Karma will be so broken. She'll probably be a 5-lane champion to play. Maybe not jungle, depending on how they do it. If they add like the tether to jungle creeps, that'll be really not fun to play against. And Shen, unfortunately, will not be as good. I think when you look at like the landscape of how they've released champions, so far all of them had pretty good releases. Eventually, one of them's gonna have to flop, and I think Shen's gonna have to take the bullet on this one. I think Shen will be very hard for certain like the casual audience to connect with, because they're like, oh, he just ults onto my teammates. He doesn't have like a showstopper, or he's in Yumi, or he doesn't have like Kha'Zix or whatever. It's not the same. It doesn't have that flashiness that some other champions do. So Karma will just overtake him, and everybody will see Shen be released and be like, I'm waiting for the next one.
That's curious.
Yeah.
The one thing that I will say I'm worried about for Shen is that the teleport won't be as good because you traverse the rift so much faster in this game. So I think they probably need to make the channel shorter so that it actually is a meaningful ability for him to like get there as soon as possible. But other than that, I don't know. I think his damage is going to be really good, and the AD items are good enough in Wild Rift where I think he could probably go damage and it'd be really good. So
at least on League PC, the first 2 levels on lane phasing from Shane is really oppressing. When he just got he goes in, taunt you, gets the sword on the floor, and you can't you are missing every hit, and he just goes out and you lost like half of the HP. So I think he has a lot of laning potential, but I like your bloom over here.
Yeah, look, it's not like the old Shen. I miss old Shen. If anyone from PC remembers, throw the sword at someone and just hit them. Perfect champion. You don't need anything else.
It was, at least it was fun.
Yes, it was a lot of fun at least. Maybe the counterplay was a little bit questionable. The balance was maybe not all there, but it looked cool.
All right, I guess that makes it my turn. My Squire's Bloom is that I will be the greatest Karma player in the entire world. And this is because I'm already Mastery 7 on Karma and PC. I'm already powerful enough on this champion. I've climbed the ranks on Karma. She's one of my main champions. and she's getting a whole entire new ultimate. How can I not hit rank 1 on the ladder when one of my best champions is getting a new ultimate? I'm just going to crush everyone on this champion. It's going to be so broken. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry for crushing your dreams, Max, but I think Alk 1 has more potential to become true here.
Yeah.
So it's not anything personal. Don't hate me.
Okay.
But it's just some facts over here.
This is just motivation for me to prove you wrong.
The odds of you hitting rank 1 and Karma being a better release champion than Shen. Exactly. Thank you to production. No shot of this happening. If you couldn't hit rank 1 on support in Wild Rift already, getting a broken champion, you might hit Masters. And you know what? Or Grandmasters. You and Urso can like play. You might have to play on like 150 ping, but like salute. Good luck to you, brothers.
Thank you. Yeah, it's gonna be good. I can't wait to prove you guys wrong. Somebody clip this. We'll get it going.
I'm still waiting for my Scryer's Boom prediction from episode 1, where we was like, the Enchanter tank meta is gonna take over. We're gonna run out of DPS in the game. It's gonna be like Kai'Sa versus Caitlyn every game, and then it's gonna be like 4 Enchanters and tanks. Set
Not there
Yumi,
yet.
Shen, Karma. We're almost there. Just give me a few
It's
months.
the dream. It's the dream.
Exactly. 80 carry dream. Just give me a front line and give me enchanters. I will win the game. Or else we lose.
Yeah.
We
I
take
don't
those.
know about you guys, but I really don't like this APC meta.
Thank
I
you.
miss more games with actual marksmen being played. So I'm really looking into ways that Riot will try to improve this whole, and we can actually see some of the marksmen being played and not being just troll picks. Nowadays, depending on your rank on solo kill, people are trying, hey, why are you picking a ADC? Just pick something like Ziggs or Oriana and it will do better. So there are people that really think you are trolling if you pick an actual marksman. So
Yeah.
Riot, do something for us over here, marksman's fans.
A man
I hate
after
to
my
break
own
this to
heart.
you. I hate to break this to you, but if they don't fix it by the time Karma's released, Karma's going to become the next best dragon
An
laner.
APC.
Yeah, basically.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's probably true. Yeah.
Might have to swap roles
Yeah.
to do that.
Look, and you know, just a small aside before we end out the show. Smax already doesn't play support. I don't know what happens in your games or if you duo with some of the other casters. Smax does this thing where as soon as like 3 to 4, not even 3 minutes comes in, he does what all the pros do. 1 minute in, I'm leaving the lane. I'm moving mid. I'm gonna kill someone. I'm gonna go with our jungler, Rafa, half the time. I'm gonna go and kill them. And me, lonely 80 carry, can't clear the wave in time. I get crashed. I lose gold. I probably die in a lot of situations. I'm just loving the fact that you're, you know, buff 80
I know the
carries, Riot.
feeling. I know the feeling.
Perfect.
Man.
It's giving me some solace because I feel like a crazy man here on the WNS.
You guys are
and
ganging
also
up on
Rift
me.
Reload. Yeah, no, I don't want to hear it. You and TJ are constantly saying, this is the correct way to play. This is just how you do it. And you know what? Damn your correct way to play. I want to play marksman in my bot lane. Urso, thank you for joining us today. It's been a blast having you here. Is there any shout outs you want to give? Anybody if they want to follow you on socials?
So, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, I have been using that more frequently right now, and also to call people to watch the Wild Tour. It's happening every Friday and Saturday, so I think it's a great way for you guys to know more of the Brazilian scene and some of the players that will be facing the N18s and other regions on the Horizon Cup. And also thank you guys for the invitation, and sorry if sometimes I might not be so clear due to the language barrier, but I tried my best, and it was a pleasure to be here with you guys.
Hey,
Yeah, it
you
was
were
great,
wonderful. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. Again, if you haven't seen it, Urso Casto on Twitter. Wild Tour, like he was saying, a lot of fun over there, and you get a full weekend of Wild Rift. You get Friday Wild Tour, Saturday same thing. You can watch WNS at the same time. If you don't have enough Wild Rift action at that point, next week Tuesday we will have another fight night here at the same channel. So don't want to miss that. For everybody here at the production, Smax, myself, Urso, thank you for joining us, and have a good night.